dynamic flying creatures. It'll be very interesting to see how they delineate things. It's a little bit of a side discussion, but I will pin this in your mind for now, because this is a future thing that, like, hey, we're in for a big problem, Matt. What happens when the system designers keep making the game better and we don't get to scream about borrowed power in the next expansion? Well, all of our dragon riding power is for dragon riding. Now, what if you're dragon riding, but it's not a dragon, and instead it's dynamic flight? Dynamic flight being the name for dragon riding style riding, but for everyone. Now, what are they going to do with the glyphs? What are they going to do with the powers? How's all that going to work? Or will it just be that your dragon riding's for the Dragon Isles? You use it there, but they all act as dynamic flying elsewhere. And does dynamic flying keep all of the power that we currently have unlocked? Because, like, you see, if you actually calculate things into yards per second, and then there's a whole discussion to have about what is an in-game yard compared to a real-life yard or a real-life meter, and then you basically find out that 1 yard in-game is not really a yard, it's just kind of like one standard distance unit. Do they want us to be screaming around like Battlefield 3 fighter jets all the time for the future of the game forever?
They can't have to, because Or
will they say, no, dynamic flying, this is what it is?
Nope, dynamic flying. Well,
that's the big question.
Categorically, no, because I don't know if you're aware of this actually, Michael, but the Frack mount, the mythic Frack mount.
Yeah, which is the first dynamic
flight mount. Yeah. And they haven't said shit about that being built differently at all. It seems to be a categorization and nothing else. Because if that flies worse and there's no way to make it better, then why the fuck would you want it? It's dead on arrival. So
because in the next expansion would be what they'd say.
Yeah.
Jimmy's not going to feel satisfying.
And then everyone would say, well, that sucks ass.
Okay, do you know what it is, right? It's basically just saying, hey, you know the way it's like the cat's out of the bag whenever they put flying in the game? This is their one chance to say we don't move at the speed of a jet plane.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they find some sort of middle ground that they think will be sustainable going forward. That'll be the big question. We can pin it for now and talk about the new things that are coming, because there's a lot. So, of course, the fairy dragon.
Flourishing Whimsy Trick. Woo! Which doesn't load for me.
Sad. There you go. You got many different...
It's very Chad Jaw, weirdly.
Very Chad. Yeah, I did think that's
interesting. It's not quite as whimsical. And then, it's not really that whimsical. It looks...
It doesn't have the head of the Fey Dragon Stormount, which is actually from the Dracorium and Warlords of Draenor, and I'm still angry about that.
I don't know how to... I feel uneasy looking at that now. Look at it. Let's move on. Anyway,
yeah.
Something about it.
So we got the Groomer Dragon. Moving on then.
That's what I was thinking.
There we go.
That's exactly what I was
We've
thinking.
got the Grotto Netherwing Drake. Now, if you did not get this via the Trading Post, there will be a quest to get it. But perhaps the Trading Post skin will be the Trading Post skin. And who knows if those Trading Post sort of capstones will make it back into the game. I mean, I have to imagine they will at some stage. Anyhow, you do get these. This is all unlocked via some form of quest with Viranoth and Rathian, who go and enjoy being misfits together. Then we've got the Fire Owl, our first non-Drake mount with dynamic flight. Looks absolutely fantastic. And do you know what it makes me think of? Makes me think of the new Druid flight form that we talked about recently. Makes me think of the Druid class, class mount transformation. Then it makes me think, will Druids ever get dynamic flying on flight form?
If they don't, it would be a very, very weird.
Could you imagine how fucking good that would feel on a druid?
It would be truly incredible, and there's a part of me says I think if they do, I don't want to say I don't expect them to do it, because at this point anything's on the table. It's mostly that I think back to how they felt about giving druids flight form back in the day, seemingly, where they kind of gave it to them. They went, hey, you guys, you're like, we remember Warcraft 3, there were the druids of the town. What if you guys could fly? And everyone went, we can fly, let's go. And then they could never take it away. They could never take it away, which meant for the rest of time, druids were a massive pain in the ass. because they could just cheat and not have mount time, which means world PvP, no mount timer, off you go. You know, Shadow Meld mount, Night Elves are just winning all the time. So they could never nerf them because that'd be a massive problem. So if they give that to, you know, they just say, oh, you can Dragonflight with like no time, you can just press your button and go, then that would be insanely strong, and it would be, again, something they could never take away, I think. They could give them a mount cast time for it and make it a different version, but then it wouldn't feel like them. And then you also go, well, would that be overlapping with the Dracthyr? Would that actually make them better than the Dracthyr? Because the Dracthyr can do the unupgraded Soar. And then you have a whole, well, why did Druids get the Dracthyr thing better? So there's all these like actual problems. But like, yeah, make for herbalism bots. Yeah, Brelshaw was a big point of it too. That like lack of flight time and the ability to interact while flying. So I would love that. And I think it would be a net gain in every feasible way. Or like a net gain overall. There'd be a couple downsides, but everyone would be super amazingly happy if a druid could take a form like the Dragonfly. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. It'd be insane. It would make me very personally happy. That's for sure. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what's more important. So,
damn. My God.
Just because I am the average world. No, I'm not.
Farak.
Iraq.
That's it, yes. Our spoils from the Farak War are a red coloration randomly from killing him in general, and a shadow flame coloration for killing him on heroic, which of course, yes, it's basically a heroic ahead of the curve mount, which to many people does mean that yes, this will be the final raid tier. So there's that situation. I definitely, it felt to me bad that Razageth's wasn't something that I got from getting Curve Razageth. That felt bad. That's it, you made me feel bad.
But did it feel more good for other people then?
As you said, fuck them, I'm the average World of Warcraft player. That said, we do have some new things. Right. Ground skimming can now occur while Thrill of the Skies is active.
The way everyone thought it would work.
Yep. We've got Wind's Respite passive. After activating Aerial Halt, experience a brief moment of weightlessness as the effects of gravity are reduced for 4 seconds. Nice. So that could be useful. Then we've got Second Wind, which is active. It has 3 charges, but a 3-minute recharge. That said, it instantly generates 1 vigor. So essentially,
Dragonriding races are easy as hell as long as you wait 9 minutes for each one.
Ruined. Delete it. Kill the game. And finally, my first thought, 8 new dragon riding races, which I suppose we got 8 on, normal difficulty, advanced difficulty, challenge difficulty, and reverse difficulty. So actually, it's more.
If they get those.
So that's the situation for our dragon riding.
That's an invitation I would accept. Sarah's wonderful. She's fantastic. She's obviously in 10-2, and it's so nice. See her again, she's got all these moments with her daughter. You're like, this is content. Yes, I'm so happy. Check it.